We had two Tuesday and Thursday, two um, good practices with a lot of situations. We ended the day with a lengthy 2 minute drill with the ones and twos. We kind of beat up just a little bit at wide receiver and a little bit on the D line. Nothing that really you need to ask me about as far as length of injuries or anything like that, but just nagging here, there, where we didn't get a chance to work our threes in that last 2 minute drive. Other than that, we had a full practice. I've been pleased with the effort. I like the feel of the team. And we brought Ronnie Fouch and Kobe Smith here, so you guys get a chance to meet them. They're two fantastic men, really great coaches, great family men, and really honored that they chose the University of Arkansas to come help us win.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good day for the defense today. What were your kind of thoughts about the day?
Yeah, we put a new defensive front in, which obviously affects the back end as well. Offense is still adding some plays too. We won't add anything coming to Saturday's practice. We won't have any new install. But to answer your question, I thought it was probably the opposite on Tuesday that it was today. So I felt like the defense played extremely fast today, and has some tweaks that they did with some of their line movements, some of their twist movements that I thought affected the offense a little bit today. But as far as the week goes, I think it's probably, I don't know, win and lose, but I felt Tuesday the offense had a little bit better day, and today I thought the defense did, and they're playing really hard. So the one thing that we're not doing. We're not having wide open guys. It seems like you guys are at practice, so you see that, each ball has been very well contested. Obviously, if the lower you get down the depth chart, there might be a wide open guy here or there, but I think the foundation, the consistency of our defense is way ahead of where it was a year ago.
Yeah, and when you look for the Saturday scrimmage, do you have in mind, how many plays, how long, what it'll look like?
Yeah, I do. I think we're going to go about each guy who's playing with the ones and twos will get about 50 snaps. There'll be some situations, third down. We're going to do a 2 minute, get the ball back 2 minute. The threes will probably get around that 30 mark. I think it'll be about 130, 140 play scrimmage. And it will conclude with the get the ball back 2 minute drill.
What are some things that you maybe are most excited for assessing on Saturday with the scrimmage? Anything particular you're, really looking forward to seeing?
I just want to see how much we improve. I felt like we've actually tackled to the ground 2 times already. I feel like our tackling has been decent. I'd like to see us improve in that. I'd like to see us break some tackles. I'd like to see us throw and catch consistently. And I like what we're doing secondary wise. But the intermediate pass game, I would like for us to be a little bit better on the crossing underneath routes. But I just want it to function well. I want good snaps. We had a few today that weren't good, and they weren't terrible. We're not snapping on the ground, over the head, all that kind of stuff. But I want that consistent inside the frame snap, and we're rolling on offense and defense, and just improve off the last 2 times that we've done. I can't really say that we've done anything terrible where I'm going, oh man. I would just like to be a little bit more consistent and a little bit better this scrimmage than we were last scrimmage.
Jaquindon spoke with us on Tuesday, and he seemed, really kind of motivated, just playing through an injury last year, maybe coming with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, how valuable is it with a newcomer, a transfer, to kind of have that, internal motivation? And what have you seen from him so far?
I think the value of transfers is what kind of people they are, what kind of who are they? obviously we hope that we've done the right homework on him on the field from tape, which we have. But it's what you bring value, like a Taylon Green or a Junior Carmona or a Keyshawn Blackstock or Nichols or Sorey. Those guys are good kids that wanted a family football team. They wanted that feel, and JJ's the same way. I can tell you a story. I think we probably blocked first and goal from the 10 last scrimmage for 2. He got 4. So now we're setting second at 6. We probably blocked the next play for 2. He got 4. And then the next time it was 3rd and 2, and we probably blocked it for 1, and he got in the end zone. And I think that's his size and his pad level, and he's played before. I think that it's something that we're needing, where we're looking for, and I think he gives it to us. And I believe he's making Rashad Dubinion a better player, because Rashad's really had a good spring, and obviously I'm high on Braylon and Isaiah and those guys, and Damo, they're all playing better.
Coach, you said before the spring you wanted to name a starting quarterback, hopefully after the spring. How close do you feel like you are? It seems like we've seen Taylon take all the 1 rep.
Well, I think it's just fair, to be honest with you, is we had told them that we would figure it out by the end of the spring, and I mean, you guys have been at practice, I think, but we got to wait till the end of the spring, and that's what we'll do. We'll continue to practice, probably about like what we're doing right now in the rotation.
Live tackle plays you think you'll have with first, second, third group on Saturday?
The same amount. It'll be all live, so it'll be 50-50, 30, probably, Trey.
You feel like you have 1,000-yard back on this team?
I think we have a stable of backs. Let me say this: I feel a lot better about our running back situation today than I have in a while. But here's what I think. I think we have several of them that can average 4.5, 5 yards a carry, and that would be more interesting to me than if we have one. I know what you're asking. Do we have that one horse yet? I think we're still kind of trying to evaluate that. Maybe that'd be a good question on whenever we talk Tuesday, because it would be a good question. Maybe I'll have a little bit better idea there.
Seems like Brad Spence is in the right place at the right time and coverage a lot. Is that what you're seeing from him?
Yeah, I mean, I asked him today, and right when I walked in, I said, "You gonna get you another one today?" I mean, he's an interception magnet, and that's a group we really don't talk about a lot, but that young linebacker group's pretty solid now. Dean and Spence and Sanford and obviously Sorey coming in has helped us. But he seems to understand, the route tree of what's coming at him, where he's supposed to be. He really has good eyes on the quarterback, understands where the offensive player is, and a lot of times he'll get between them and the ball, and he'd be a great tight end, I think. I'm not going to tell him that, but he can catch now.
And then I think Quincy Rhodes had a sack in the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's played a ton with the first team defense. What do you think of that?
He hasn't played a whole lot. He has played some. Landon Jackson also did a really nice job in that 2-minute. But it takes 3 of them with the picks that we're running and things of that. But he really did a nice job there too. But Quincy's a guy that needs more reps, and I think getting through this spring, he gets a little bit better each day because of his confidence grows, because he understands what he's supposed to be doing. He's playing a little faster. I think everybody in here that's ever played, if you're thinking about responsibility, you're probably a half a stride behind what you would be athletic ability wise. And you can kind of see it each day, just getting a little bit faster, because he's ultra talented. I mean, with his skills and his body size.
I know he got dinged up today, but Armstrong, I guess you feel good about his injury. Then also, like, what kind of spring has he had? Like, where have you seen him improve?
Outstanding. He's another guy, I think, that has developed into a leader, Tyrone Broden, but Arms, to me, Andrew is playing at a high rate. And I know he was a good player last year. I believe he's a lot better right now. He just had a tweak in the ham and wasn't able to finish out. I think he'll be fine on Saturday, but I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of him, and Broden too, and Tesla and all those guys. But Andrews, to me, has really changed. Him and Broden have changed. They're older. They're taking leadership ability or their responsibility, excuse me, and they're catching the ball extremely well.
I wanted to ask about the two assistants you brought in here today. Both of them have a pretty extensive history with Coach Petrino. Just how much does that help with them?
Well, I think the first thing is that I think it's just like anybody that we hire, either side of the ball, you would like to bring, if you can, if there's availability on your staff, you'd like to bring somebody in that's had some type of history with the coordinator. And that was when we hired Dan, and we didn't have availability, but we hired a analyst, and obviously KB, and he brought in Cooper, and on defense, Woodson came with Williams. It's the same thing with Bobby. He had recommended Ronnie, and then once Ronnie came in and was the coach and man that he is, then Coach and several other coaches, I had 6 guys recommended for Coach Smith's job, and Bobby had recommended him as well. And to be honest with you, for what we need, both of them were the best fits for us. And it happened to also be that Bobby's worked with both of them. And it's very important when you hire people that if you can hire people that somebody's worked with, that don't mean you always hit, but we did this time.
Seemed like Isaiah Satania had a really good week in practice. I know we've talked about him a little bit before, but just as far as these last 2 practices we've seen, just what have you liked from him?
Speed. He's a different route runner. He's running his routes and getting out of his break and getting separation better than he has before. I think if you go back and look at his high school tape, it was a lot of reverses and a lot of goes, and they did a wonderful job over there at Fayetteville High with him. But now he's running so many different types of routes. I think Ronnie's done a really good job of getting him in and out of his breaks. With that comes confidence, and that, to me, is why he's catching the ball better than he has.
And then was Posca there today? I didn't see him for some of the later. Andreas?
I don't think he was out there. He had a thumb injury, and so he was out there in Indy, but he wasn't out there in team. But he jammed his thumb, and that's been a problem in his past a little bit. I don't think there's any type of surgical situation with that, but he was taped up pretty good in our walk yesterday, and basically what we do, we put them through Indy, and then if they can't make it through Indy, or they can't get to Indy, obviously, but if they can't make it through Indy, then they're shut down and go rehab for the rest of the day.
And then staying with the tight ends, just it seems like Gums has been used in the passing game a lot. Just how much do you like him as a weapon there?
Well, I think he's the guy that we were hoping that we were getting a year ago. And again, Gums also, we're doing a little bit of crossover training, one-on-ones with linebackers and tight ends, one-on-ones with running backs and linebackers. Right now, he's one of our better protectors when we use our tight end in protection. But what we saw off of tape at North Texas is we're seeing now here, which he was hurt some last year with the ankle and things of that and like that. But right now, he's playing at a high rate of speed, and I think he's playing with a lot of confidence. But he worked extremely hard since the last of the season.
seeing Tyrone Broden get downfield a lot more. You touched on it a little bit, but only averaged 7.3 yards a catch for a guy that can run 22 miles an hour,
Yeah.
6'7". What have you seen from him? He also looks like he's put on a little bit of weight.
He has. That's the thing. He's not the slim, he's gained some strength, a lot of confidence. Again, Trey, part of his problem last year is a lot of reps that he missed because he was injured when he came in or went early when he was here. But him and Armstrong are the two guys. Now Tesla's always had that confidence about him, but him and Andrew are the two guys that are like, call the play, I'll get open, throw me the football, I'll catch it, I don't care who's on me, and that's where he's gone to right now. And he's a weapon, he's a threat. He's like you just said, he's tall, he's fast, and again, I believe his route running has improved as well.
When you guys do that Okie front on defense and you have Nico and Spence basically doing the same position and they're 40 pounds difference.
Yeah.
What is the thought process with those guys?
A lot of times that will be dictated by personnel, offensive personnel. But right now we're just trying to find out. I want the odd front. I want it without taking what we would call a big off the field. And so one of the reasons would be offensive personnel with Spence. The other one would be because his ability to rush the passer would be another situation out there. But we need to have, in my opinion, we need to have a big, in other words, a defensive end that can stand up and do that. And we need to have a linebacker in there that can do that as well. Spence, for what we have size-wise, is Dean could probably be a guy that we may look at doing that same thing, Trey, maybe starting next week. But it's just two different type of people that you might use against personnel changes on offense.
Is that just something you'd mix in just kind of randomly, or is it like a certain scenario that?
No, well, I think it first started because the SEC is a mint world. I mean, an odd 4-eye world that is used a lot on first and second down. But our interior, we don't have enough. We've got 4 really good players in there, I think, on the D line, the bigs inside. And we probably could move Landon in there in a situation, which we have done in practice. We could probably move Quincy Rhodes in there if we needed to. But that also gives, with Spence, Dean, and those guys, give you an opportunity to have 3 D linemen on the field and still another 240, 45-pound guy out there. So we're going to use both of those as long as we like it. We need to have that capability of still playing 6 guys instead of 8 with a big linebacker if that's the case.
Coach, other than the usual like Clark's, Braxton, Snacks, who in the secondary is kind of making a move or
Slaughter.
catching your attention?
Nico Slaughter. I mean, he's good as any of them back there. He's a good player. And he's a really good kid. He's done good. I like the 2 young corners, Jaden, and 2 Bridges. I like those 2 guys a lot. Akari Johnson has played well. Tevis Metcalf, he got something to him now. He'll knock the heck out of you. But I like those guys, but right off the top, Slaughter's a guy that is really going to help us.
That's exactly what I want to ask you about your cornerback rotation, what you're seeing. Corners.
Well, Jaheim Singletary's playing better than he has. Stewart, those 2 guys are kind of battling out. Braxton, Cuddy, that would probably be your top 4 right now. Braxton's playing well. Tuesday probably wasn't as good a practice as he's had before, but he's going to be a really, really good player. And he is. And then you probably those next 3 guys, you're probably looking at who's two, which Stu's had a lot of those reps. But I think Jaheim and Cuddy are two guys that could start for us. They're good players. Only, though I think we're going to be fine at the corner position that way. We still probably need to find another safety, which we may have him on the team. We just got to keep working them.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Were they talking?